This right here is the Jacob Gray TWC-9. This is a 9mm double stack 2011 style pistol that is legal in the state of California. Anyone can go and pick one of these up. This one was provided to me for review by Second Amendment Zone down in SoCal. They got a couple locations. This is a affordable 2011 that's legal in the state of California that costs not as much as a used car. I'm looking at you, Atlas. They make great guns, but the average person is not going to be able to afford that. This comes in a variety of configurations, but this one that I have here, I've put a ton of rounds through it, and I'm going to talk to you about it in just a second. Neat. Okay, so this is the Jacob Gray TWC-9. This is a 2011 style pistol that is legal in the state of California. You can get these from a variety of places inside the state of California. As a person that is not a cop, this is a roster exempt pistol when you acquire it from a dealer in the state of California. This specific one was sent out to me by Second Amendment Zone. They have 2 locations down in Southern California, so I'm very thankful to them for giving me the opportunity to test this out. So if you're in the area, if you're in SoCal, check them out. They do a whole lot of cool stuff. They have paved the way for the single shot exemptions and a variety of other firearm types that most other shops have not known was legal, are not willing to do. Second Amendment Zone has very much paved the way in a lot of aspects. So we are talking about this Jacob Gray 2011 style pistol in the state of California. This one, MSRP is about $25. There are cheaper options in the world, but in the state of California, we're fairly limited as far as what manufacturers are willing to work with us to get these in a single shot configuration. This gun I have in my possession because of Manzano Munitions in Santa Clara. Big thanks to Kyle and all of them for letting me do this, work with them, get this gun from 2A Zone. So let's talk about the actual review. Let's talk about this pistol. So 9mm style pistol, 9mm 2011 style pistol. This is like a commander length. It's not a full size. It's about a 4.5 or 4.2 inch barrel. This one has full ambi safety on it. If you take a look here, ambi safety on both sides. As a right-handed shooter, that's not a huge deal for me, but if you're wrong-handed, having the safety on this side is very much appreciated. The magazine release is a standard sided magazine release. It's only workable on one side. So if you are a lefty, you're gonna have to drop your mags by doing this here or however you wrong-handed people do it. The controls as a right-handed shooter for the bolt or slide stop and slide catch. When I go to reload this gun, I can't really reach that without breaking my grip. So I'm kind of at a weird point where I don't know, for me, if it would be better to put a magazine in and then drop it with my thumb here. That is what I have been doing, and it works fine doing it like that. But it's just, I don't know, I got long hands, long fingers, and I just can't really reach that without breaking my grip a little bit, which I don't super like doing, but it is, I guess, just the way that it works. The trigger on this is a flat face trigger that is not hollowed out or skeletonized. The trigger pull on this, they advertise on the website, I believe, 3.5 pounds, but this one, it feels heavier than that. Now, I should mention that this is a very early serial number, very early production model of this gun, and some changes have happened. And from what I've seen of reviews more recently, has been that the trigger is actually pulling. From the review models that I've seen, the people that have purchased this, it seems as if they are actually pulling at the advertised weight. But this one in particular, it feels heavier. This feels much more like appropriate for a duty defensive type trigger pull. And that's, you know, that's gonna be personal preference. It being a 2011 style pistol, you could swap out a bunch of springs and whatnot and make that a little bit lighter, but it's just something worthy of noting. The magazine has a little bit of a, or the magwell has a little bit of a bevel to it. It's got a little bit of a magwell on it, which is appreciated because it does make reloading a little bit smoother. When I have been shooting this, I've just been shooting with reloading from the pocket. So I've just had a mag kind of just sticking out here. So gun goes dry, drop it, and it works pretty good. Shooting this gun, the recoil on it is actually a pretty nice pulse. When you shoot a 2011 or a 1911 style pistol, what's really nice about them is since the trigger breaks straight back, like on any 2011 or 1911 style pistol, it's really hard to mess up the trigger pull because it kind of is the best part about a 2011 or a 1911 style pistol. That trigger pull motion being straight back on a single action pull is just, it's nice. Like there is something to say about a 1911 or 2011 style pistol. The recoil pulse on this gun is definitely easier to shoot. Now this is a all metal gun. It's a aluminum, I believe, frame or grip, and then an aluminum frame. So it's not quite as heavy as a full steel gun, but it's not quite as light as a lot of the market options, like a staccato. I believe a lot of the staccatos have polymer grips. Not a huge fan of that. A lot of people are, but when I have a 2011 or a 1911 style pistol, I want it to be made of metal. It just feels better, in my opinion, picking them up. Whether or not they're better to shoot, people that are more into the competition realm might have different preferences. I'm just talking about when I pick up a gun like this, I want it to be metal. I want it to be a little heavier. It's just part of the experience for me. The grip on this, a lot of people talk and make comments about, oh, I wish that this was grippier because it's got a smooth side paneling here, checkering on, I believe this is like the mainspring housing, I think that's what they called, checkered metal here, and then just some texture on the front and on the back sides here. People say it's too smooth. As a grown man with grip strength that is adequate, I did not feel as if the lack of grip texture was inhibiting my shooting ability. I felt that my shooting ability was the limiting factor. I never felt like I was slipping off the gun or the gun was slipping out of my hands, but your mileage may vary. You might be a particularly clammy person. I don't have clammy hands. I don't shoot in very humid environments, so that might be something to consider. But if you're in the state of California like me, we live in a place where the weather is nice. I mean, that's one of the main benefits of living here, right? Is the weather is good. So if you are a person that absolutely needs more grip texture, this might not be for you. But me, I felt like it was fine. It was comfortable. The lack of texture is more comfortable to hold and shoot for long periods of time. But I definitely understand how in certain conditions, certain shooting styles, and certain people, having more grip texture is better than less for some people. So just something to consider. All in all, I felt like I shot this really well. The features that it comes with, having the ambi safety, better trigger than most polymer striker fire guns, is very nice. Having a built-in magwell was nice. 1911 and 2011 style trigger is nice. The gun shoots well. It handles recoil pretty well. With the HoloSun comp on it, I felt like 90% of the time when the gun would recoil, the dot would stay fully in the window if I was holding onto it properly. I felt like the dot never quite left, and if it did leave, it always came back right when I was ready to pull the trigger. Like I would be, boom, it would reciprocate, it would come back, and by the time I was ready to pull the trigger again, I already had a good sight picture. So I never felt like I was being limited by it. I shot this, and then I shot a $10,000 Atlas, and Obviously, the $10,000 Atlas shot better, but most people are not in the market for a $10,000. Obviously, that's a little bit of exaggeration. They're like 8 or 9, but most people are not in the market for something like that. This, at the price point that it comes in at, the fact that you can get them in the state of California, the fact that Jacob Gray is willing to work with manufacturers in the state of California or sellers in the state of California to offer single shot exempt is nice. The one downside, so I shot about, me personally, I shot 1,000 rounds ish through this gun in one day over the course of a couple hours. A lot of other people that same day at Manzani Munitions Range Day for his members also shot an unknown amount of ammunition through this gun. This gun has been shot a lot. It has not been cleaned whatsoever. I lubed it up. When I first got the gun, it was unlubed. It was completely dry, and I just decided, screw it, we'll shoot it. The first couple hundred rounds, I was noticing that one of the magazines was not locking back on the last round, so I wasn't getting bolt lock. One of the magazines was working fine. I figured it's probably a good idea to lube this gun up because it was bone dry, and this gun is going to be seeing a lot of rounds today. So I lubed it up, didn't have that issue again. Then the gun saw about another 1,000 rounds, and I started to notice it again, but the gun was at that point dry again. I lubed it up. It was no longer an issue. Took it out, I think 2 weekends ago, or maybe 1 weekend ago, and I did not have that issue shooting another 300-400 rounds in a day over the course of about maybe 45 minutes or so, maybe an hour. But I did not have that issue because I kept the gun lubed. I have not cleaned this gun. It has seen, from me personally, about 1,400 rounds. It's seen a astonishingly high amount of ammunition through other people in that same period of time, and the gun works. I mean, I was shooting 115 and 124 grain full metal jacket rounds, no problems whatsoever. Who knows what the other people were putting through this gun, but I did not have a single issue with this gun as far as reliability, which has been great. It shoots well under recoil. Accuracy has been fine. I don't really shoot groups with a pistol, but I had no problem at all ever hitting my target. So shooting head boxes at 25 yards, it was just fine for that. And for me, that checks the box of, is it accurate enough? So if you're in the state of California and you want a 2011, the Jacob Gray TWC9 is an excellent option. It's being offered through a variety of places, including Second Amendment Zone. If you are interested, check them out. Would I personally purchase a 2011 style pistol? I'm gonna be totally honest with you. Probably not. I really enjoy shooting them, but for me, handguns are very much more utilitarian or like wacky guns that I like. So I probably wouldn't carry a 2011 style pistol because I've just been a Glock person for so long. So for me, that's just kind of what I'm used to. And then when I want a smaller gun, I carry a P365. So would I spend the money on this? Probably not, if I'm being totally honest with you. But that's just because I'm not necessarily in the market for a 2011. I love shooting them, but I think of it in the same way I think of a boat. It's really cool to be friends with people that allow you on their boat and take you out all the time. I think it would be cool if one of my friends had one of these so I could shoot it a lot. But do I want to own one for a utilitarian purpose? I'm happy with what I have currently. So that kind of puts it in perspective. But you might be interested in 2011s for a variety of reasons. And if you are, this is a very competitive offering on the market, especially in the state of California. Let me know what you guys think down below. Would you be interested in picking up one of these? You guys know the drill. Have fun, be safe, stay dangerous. Peace.